Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today, we are kind of previewing a couple schedules and talking about a couple other topics. We're here with Marlon from RamsTalk. All links in the description. Just kind of first initial thoughts on the Rams schedule.
Yeah, so I mean, overall, we knew it was going to be hard. NFC
Yeah.
Championship. Didn't bring it home, so it's going to be hard regardless if you don't bring it home. Obviously, if you're the
Mhm.
Super Bowl champion, your
And a
schedule.
second place schedule is like pretty difficult too. You're second place in the division, and even like sorry to interrupt, but like for example, you guys only have to play one AFC East team, but the team you guys have to play is the Bills, who's
Yeah,
gonna be like the best team in the East. And I do want to bring up, I'm gonna let you talk, then I have something else I want to bring up.
yeah. I just want to say, like, going through all these games. I mean, the Rams having 7 primetime games. It's like tied with history and on most primetime games in a whole season. So, clearly the Rams are getting the spotlight this year, and they're in a good place to prosper and build their fan base even more. So that would be great considering all the red jerseys that show up to SoFi those weeks. So that would be awesome. But looking at like week 1 through 5, I could see us going like 4-1. That's going to be very
Whoa,
rough.
wait, I wanted to talk about that. I
Three and
think you have the toughest start to the season out of anybody,
yeah.
everybody. Like, okay,
So
you got the Niners week one, and then you got the Giants, and we'll talk about the Australia thing in a minute. You
yeah,
got the Giants, who I think we all agree the Giants are probably going to be arguably
look
the
at
most
that. Left it
improved
was
team in the
yeah.
NFL this year.
Harbaugh.
You got at Denver, which is Denver's a hard place to play. Like,
Mhm.
and then you got the Eagles, which ironically enough is like your one non-primetime game. I don't really get why. I feel like that's going to be like your best game of the year.
I do want
Um,
to say getting the Bills at SoFi though is pretty nice. I would
and
say
it's
that.
going to be all Bills fans there. Last time they played there was all Bills fans.
And I'm excited to see how Australia goes because,
Yeah.
when you're in SoFi, sad enough to say it, going to St.
Yeah.
Louis, you kind of lose that fan base. But,
Hmm.
when you come back and you go to SoFi and you have Niners home games there, we don't have the advantage. We all
Yeah.
know that.
And yeah,
So
and I want to talk about so your first five
yeah,
games, and
really
then
well.
your last six games are extremely tough to you. You got the Chiefs at SoFi, then you got at Niners, Cowboys at home, which will be a home game for the Cowboys because it's at SoFi. At Seattle on Christmas. Then you got at Tampa going cross country, which is a tough. Late in the season, cross country is tough. And you close the season with Seattle at home, which I'm going to guarantee is going to be the Sunday night game of Week 18.
Yeah.
So your beginning and end of the schedule. I mean, it is tough, and I will say the middle of the schedule. That's where you guys are going to have to get like weeks. Sorry, like about from October 18th to November 25th. So those one, two, three, four, five, six, like those like six games, those are where you're gonna have to go 5-1, 6-0 in because you got Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers, Commanders, Cardinals again, and Packers. Those six games. I know the Packers are a playoff team. I'm not too high on the Packers, but we'll wait a month till the preview comes out. Um, I'm not like the best. I mean, the Chargers, in my opinion, are the only game you should maybe lose in that. Like you
Uh,
should go 6-0 in that six-game
I
stretch, in
mean,
my opinion.
speaking about the Chargers, we could talk about their schedule release video too. I don't know for all the people that have seen that with the Puka video talking about his live stream moment in the locker room and them trolling him, and then talking
Yeah, the
about
Chargers always do a good schedule release
yeah. So they
video.
could make a cool schedule release, but we'll see how good they do. They get
Yeah,
to pay $1 a year to play here, but they're still paying rent. They're
yeah,
still in the backyard.
yeah. No, and like I will say, but like that six-game stretch, like you're gonna need to win. Like you're gonna need to win 5 to 6 games in that stretch. So let's just say, in case you start off the season 2-3, or you end it like 3-3, 2-4, it's like, well, you won 6 games. It's kind of like a couple years ago, the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, former Rams OC, they had a really easy start to the season. So they started off like 5-0, 6-0, and they were able to lose in the middle of the season. I think they lost to the Rams and the Lions. Like they're able to lose a couple games. And like 2025 for the Rams too. It was kind of the same deal last year too, where they had a top like their start of the season. They had Texans, who was the best defense in the league. They had at Titans, which was an easy win. Then they had the Eagles, the Colts, who were out team, and the Niners. And then the middle of the season, you get the injured Ravens, the Jaguars, who weren't very good yet, the Saints, the injured Niners. Like so, you went 5-0 in that stretch. Like you have to do that again, which is tough.
Want to say that too. That was the first game of the season they hadn't developed, but we did play the Texans. That was a close game.
Yeah, I know that was a great game. And also
They
Stafford's back injury was still like.
Yeah, I mean, and people were saying that like the Jaguars team spoke with Sean McVay on a recent podcast, and Sean McVay said that the Jaguars team before the game said, like, weren't you how did you pull that off? Like, did you let Stafford just skip practice?
Oh
And
yeah.
McVay said, no, dude, like that was totally real, and he was cleared for a 1 week notice. Like that's insane to me. But
Yeah.
you know, going into this season too with Ty Simpson and Stetson competing, I mean, it's gonna be interesting, especially preseason.
Yeah, I think Ty Simpson's probably going to be the third string for this season. And I want to talk about, because it's probably the most talked about game this year, the opening game versus the Niners in Australia. Um, I will say, you guys got kind of bit like lucky, get a Monday night game. And I will say, Sean McVay didn't complain. I know it's technically a Rams home game, but I have to give McVay credit. Didn't really complain, just took it on the chin. And that's why I want to bring up the Niners. I feel like the Niners, they always complain. They always find an excuse. For
Yeah.
example, a couple years ago, the Super Bowl in Vegas, because the Super Bowl every year, one team practices in the NFL facility, one team's in the college facility. And the Niners were like, "Oh, we're in the UNLV's facility. This is unfair." The year before, the Chiefs were in Arizona State's facilities. They beat the Eagles. Like Chiefs, no excuses. Um, Year even before that, the Bengals, they had the Chargers facilities. But it's just the Niners always have an excuse, and I'm gonna be honest with the
Yeah, and
Niners.
you won't see Andy Reid coming out saying if we lost to the Eagles, it was because
Yeah,
of Arizona State.
and
That's
I'm gonna be honest. The Niners, you got the Dolphins the week after, who are gonna be the worst team in the league. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I would rather play the Dolphins Sunday after than the Giants. They're gonna be physical under Harbaugh. They're versus
yeah,
the Giants Monday. I mean, they go to Australia, but the next 2 weeks the Niners get the Dolphins and the Cardinals. You can't ask for you can't ask for anything better. That's what
yeah.
I'm trying to say. And you guys get the Giants and the Broncos.
But you know what? It's a true test, and it shows. LA, the Rams are the dominant factor. Of course, I'll give it to Seattle this year, but LA is in its dominant factor, and this is time to go all in. We could
Mhm.
see a breakout season from Jordan Whittington. We could see it from C.J. Daniels. We could see the tight end room be even more maximized. We've already seen the rushing room in Blake Corum and Kyron Williams. Like those guys are putting up numbers. They're putting up over 1,500 a season together. So
Uh-huh.
it's pretty astonishing what they can do. And don't get me wrong, the Ty Simpson pick is definitely not an addition to right now, but you got to think, you're always on edge knowing if Stafford's going to go out. So, but not
Yeah.
enough, no more Ty Simpson defending. I just got to get it out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Rams are still going to be a best offense, and with Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson and some undrafted free agents that actually look pretty promising, we'll see some what results happen.
Yeah, and with the Rams schedule, so I mean, it's a tough schedule. Do you just want to go through it right now and just kind of predict game by game real fast, like quick
Yeah.
little second? Okay, so week one Niners. I think you guys are just gonna split with the Niners, so you do every year. So let's just say you win that one. So 1-0. Giants week two. I'll give you that one 2-0. Broncos week three. That's a little. I mean. I think the next three games, the Broncos, the Eagles, and the Bills, I think you guys go 1-2 in those games. So I think you start the season 3-2.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a bold prediction. I think I've seen a lot of people say 3-2. I think 3-2 is very realistic. But for me, Niners will take it home 34-20. 34-20.
Okay,
Good
so
start for
so
the Rams. Telling
okay.
you,
So I say
Jonathan,
3-2. Are you saying 4-1 or 5-0?
I'm saying 4-1.
Okay, so I say 3-2, and then you got the Cardinals after that. That's a win. So I say 4-2. Raiders 5-2.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Chargers 6-2. Well, you're still at 7-1.
Yeah,
Commanders, that could be a sneaky one, but I'll give them that.
I'm
seven
like
and two.
8-1.
Um, Cardinals 8-2. Packers, 9-2. You're still at 10-1. Chiefs. Well, no, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to say they win that one. 11-2. And then at Niners, I think, like I said, I think you guys just split with them. So I'm at 11-3. I don't know what you're at right now.
I'm at 13-2. I think we lose to the
You mean
Chiefs.
you mean 12-2?
I I'm going to be releasing a bracket soon. I think my final prediction is the Rams see the Chiefs or the Bills in the Super Bowl, and either one wins it. But I think we'll lose to Kansas City. I think Green Bay will be really close. but I think we'll lose to Kansas City, and then we'll come back against San Francisco. I
Yeah.
think we'll take the 2-0 stretch. That's just
Yeah,
me, though.
no, so I'm at so let's see. This is hold on.
And to be frank, looking at these other games, you have Seattle twice in three
Yeah,
weeks.
you're gonna split with the Seahawks. I mean, that's just
I think that's the most reasonable thing. But I do want to say how close every single game was. And now imagine Jalen Ramsey's there or Trent
yeah.
McDuffie for now, in
Yeah.
our era.
So I think after the Niners game, December 13th, I think you're 10-3. And then I'm gonna be honest, I think you lose to the Cowboys at home. I think the Cowboys get one on you guys. So I think 10-4 after the Cowboys. I think you lose at Seattle 10-5. I think you beat dude at Bucks. That's another sneaky one. I'm just gonna say 11-6 or 12-5.
The Bucks are just, I don't know. To me, they're diminished with losing Jamel Dean. I mean,
Yeah.
Bucky Irving hasn't been
Yeah,
amazing.
Mike Evans is going to be a big loss too. But
Yeah,
I mean, okay, I'll give you that. So I'll say 12-5. With a couple like 12-5 is a generous prediction for me because I mean there's a couple games on here like you look at Bucks, Chiefs. I think the kind of 2 game stretch between the Chargers and Commanders that so I'd say 12-5, give or take 3 games. So I think anywhere. I mean, I want to save our record for the preview of like our floor and our ceiling. Um, but I think 12-5 is probably what you're looking at, and that probably does win you the West. I mean, if we can just, I mean, we can look at the Seahawks schedule because I don't think,
if you win the West, you win the NFC. But
yeah, because like for example, if you look at the Seahawks, they got kind of so week 1 Patriots, they win that 1-0. Week 2 Cardinals, they win that 2-0. Week 3 Commanders. So they got the Commanders and Chargers back to back. I think they drop one of those. And so I think they're 3-1 going into the Niners. I think they beat the Niners at home, so that's 4-1. Um, at Broncos and Chiefs, I think they're gonna split those two. So they're gonna be 5-2. Um, Bears, I think they lose to the Bears 5-3. Cardinals, they win 6-3. Raiders, they win 7-3. At Niners, they lose 7-4. Cowboys at home, I do think they take care of the Cowboys, so 8-4. Giants, Giants and Eagles, I think they're gonna split those two. So I said 8-4, so they're gonna be 9-5. Then they got Rams, Panthers, Rams. They'll go 2-1 in those 'cause I think they split with the Rams. So yeah, no, they'd go 11-6. So I'd give the Rams the win. And this just and like I said, predictions could change. Um,
yeah, I really think it just depends on Stafford. I think McDuffie's going to show up. Watson's going to show up. I think everybody's going to be ready
yeah.
to play. You
And
know,
you want to know something? I don't know how I feel about the Niners making the playoffs.
I don't know either. I think we had a really lucky year last year. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to say we're the best division in football, but I don't think the Niners can do it. I mean,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
just
just looking at their
crazy
schedule right
offense.
now,
They
just
got to
running.
practice in literal electricity, so it's like I don't
So,
know.
see, you're making excuses for them now.
No,
You're
yeah,
you're, you're
no,
like
but
college. You're making
no, but
excuses for
look,
the
I got
Niners.
to give it to them. That's rough. That's rough.
No, I
It's
mean
not
there's
it's
no
not good.
proven no until there's evidence. There's no proven thing. So if you look at the Niners, we said they're losing week 1, 0-1. Dolphins, Cardinals, the next 2 wins. Those are 2 wins. So 2-1. Broncos at home. I'll give the Niners that 3-1. Also, they get 3 home games after Australia. Another thing. And then also their next away game is the Seahawks, which is an hour flight. So you're 3-1 going in Seattle. You lose to Seattle 3-2. Um, they beat the Commanders on Monday night 4-2. At Falcons, they always lose to the Falcons. I don't know why. They just can't beat the Falcons. So 4-3, right?
Falcons got better though.
Yeah, I know. The Falcons are they're my pick to win the NFC South right now. So Falcons 4-3. They beat the Raiders 5-3. At Cowboys, they win that. They always beat the Cowboys 6-3. Vikings, they win 7-3. Seahawks, they win at home 8-3. At Giants, I think they lose 8-4. Rams at home, we already said they lose to the Rams, so 9-4. At
Usually they
Charge,
lose to the Rams.
yeah. At Chargers, that's a home game for the at Chargers is a home game for the Niners,
Home
right?
game for the Niners too, but we still went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so
You know,
I have you guys I have them at 9-4 right now. I think probably well their last 4 games is Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles, Cardinals. I'll just say they go 2-2 in that, so that's 11-6. I mean, they're still I
yeah,
11-6. That probably gets you in the playoffs. Just depending on because I have a good idea of what my playoffs are going to look like.
To me, though, it's hard because like the NFC, I feel is developing so much more. I think it's going to be the Rams, the Seahawks. It's going to definitely. I think Dallas makes it this year. I
Yeah, me
truly.
too. I'm high on
I
Dallas.
think
I like
I
it.
think Dallas makes it this year. I think the Eagles make it. I think the Giants are possible. I like the Giants. I like the Giants a lot. The Bears, I think I could see them for sure. Maybe the Panthers go on a stretch. I don't
Well,
know,
because the
but
NFC South, the problem is the NFC South, I mean, someone has to come from the NFC South. And I think it's probably the Falcons, but like I said, could be anyone. And then you got 6 spots left. I mean, you got the three division winners, which I think are going to be Rams, Eagles, Bears. So after that,
have to get home field
yeah,
advantage this season.
yeah.
They
So
have to secure
so
that.
after that, there's 3 spots available, and I think teams that are realistically going to be fighting for it are Cowboys, Giants, um, Lions, Seahawks, and Niners. So there's going to be 5 teams. I don't believe in the Packers this year. I'm not very high on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, 5 of those teams are going to be left out of the playoffs. And anything more you got to say about the schedule before we kind of move on to the next topic?
Yeah, just the week through 1-5 stretch is really I feel like it's going to determine a lot more than people
Mhm.
think because the next couple games are pretty chill. They're mellow. You're not traveling that far. It's all LA, Arizona,
Do you want
farthest
to
one.
preview the Chiefs schedule?
Yeah, and the only thing you got to do is Washington.
Yeah. Do you want to preview the Chiefs schedule real fast?
Let's do the Chiefs.
Okay. So week
My
one,
I got
Broncos
to be
at
ready for
home.
them.
So like I said, I'm gonna give non-bias. So week one, Broncos at home. I think they lose that. So I think they win that. My bad. Win that 1-0. Colts at home, they win that 2-0. Dolphins 3-0. At Raiders, I actually think they lose that one. So 3-1. Chargers at home, I think they win that 4-1. At Seattle, we already said they lose that 4-2. At Broncos, I think they lose that 4-3. Jets at home, that's a free win, 5-3. At Falcons, 6-3.
Justin
Um,
Fields against his former team.
yeah, Cardinals 7-3. They win that. At Bills, probably lose that, so 7-4. At Rams, we said they lose that 7-5. At Bengals, I think they probably lose that, so 7-6. Patriots at home, they win that. So that's 8-6. Niners at home, they win that. 9-6. At Chargers, they lose that. 9-7. Then Raiders at home, 10-7. So I mean, yeah, um I think 10-7 is the thing. I think 10-7 is probably the record for them. Yeah.
Is that's your ceiling? Like that's the
No,
highest?
that's like the middle. My ceiling for them would probably be
Five?
no, my ceiling for them probably 13-4.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
But
We'll
like
see
I
how
said, I was
it goes
being
too.
very hard.
I'm excited to watch the lane
Yeah.
play.
I was very hard on the Chiefs schedule. Like I said, we were losing the Raiders. Like I was very hard on them.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, a lot of these teams you guys have to play are very determined and have grown a lot. I mean, a lot of teams have developed, but
yeah.
my ceiling as of now, I'd say for the Rams is probably 14-3.
Yeah,
I'd
no,
say it's possible. It would be really hard and very impressive considering they're playing literally the best teams in the league.
mhm.
But
Yeah. Question, do
yeah,
you want to do one
14-3.
last thing before we end the video? Just want to do the Bears because this, I mean, my opinion, the Bears are the biggest competition for the Rams.
Yeah.
So Bears week one at Panthers, they win that one 1-0. Week two, Vikings at home, they win that 2-0. Week three, Eagles. I mean, they embarrassed the Eagles last year. I think they beat the Eagles, right?
I think it's close. I mean, losing AJ Brown most likely is
Yeah.
definitely going to hurt.
Yeah. 3-0. Jets at home, they win 4-0. At Packers, I think they lose that 4-1. At Falcons, they win that 5-1. Patriots at home, 6-1.
This is a little generous, though. Some teams,
Yeah.
you never know. They might be coming off
Yeah.
easy spreads.
At Seattle, I think, like we already said they win that, so 7-1. Wait, hold on. We said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so 7-1. Bucks. I think the Bucks actually beat the Bears. I think that's an upset right there. Um,
Okay.
so 7-2, and they go into a bye week, and they come out with the Saints. Pretty easy game, 8-2. At Lions, they lose that 8-3. Jaguars, they win that. I'm not high on the Jags this year, so 9-3. At Dolphins, they win that 10-3. At Bills, they lose that 10-4. Packers at home, they win that 11-4. Lions at home, they win that 12-4. And at Vikings, they probably win that. So, I mean, 12-5, 13-4, right around like, I mean, I have a question. If the Bears get home field advantage, get the number one seed, does that make you nervous?
It makes me a little nervous, but and as I was gonna say, I think there's gonna be some breakout things for the Rams
Yeah.
here offensively too. I think we're gonna see the emergence of a great Chris Shula defense, even if it's only for a year, because most likely he's gonna be
Oh,
less than
he's gone.
last year.
I mean, I'm trying to think, but also a thing too, I want to bring up real fast. We had 10 head coaching openings this year. I don't think we have more than four. Because if you're thinking realistically, what's going to be open, just going division by division, Jets probably is going to be open. The Bengals, if they don't make the playoffs, but I think they are going to make the playoffs. So we'll say if the worst comes to worst, what's going to be open. So I think Jets, no one else in that division, because the Dolphins, they're going to give their guys some time. Bengals, so that's two.
Steelers.
Steelers, no, they gave him a 7-year contract. He's locked in. Um, I think Colts maybe, even though I really like Shane Steichen. Um, no one in the AFC West because everyone's pretty good there.
I think
Commanders, I think Dan
Titans.
Quinn Commanders if they don't make the playoffs, so that's number four. Um,
That would be
and then
crazy.
and then everybody else. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer's doing a good job with the Cowboys. No one, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't see maybe Todd Bowles in the Bucks, so that's five. But that's it. I mean, five, like, and we were being kind of like hard, like so.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
mean,
said, you could have Chris Shula for 2 more years. Because
yeah,
like,
I
if
mean,
you're Chris Shula, do you want to take like the Jets job?
breaking news. Matthew Stafford actually. Breaking news: Matthew Stafford was just extended.
Oh, for 1 year, I'm assuming.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
Wow, while recording this, yeah. ESPN sources. Oh, 1 year, $55 million worth up to 60 million.
Wow. Sorry, Rams fans. I'm gonna have to get that content out in a little bit.
Yeah, well, we'll end on that. But yeah. So
I
Matt
mean,
Stafford's back again. Oh yeah, and it's part of a 2 year. So it's basically if he comes back, it's a 2 year, $105 million deal.
yeah. So Rams win the Super Bowl. Best case scenario. I mean, we could see him for another 2 years under Simpson. Maybe if he wants to even give Ty Simpson more of a learning curve.
Hmm.
I think it'll be a little difficult, but we're gonna see how this season goes. I really think it's just gonna depend on how our offense moves. I think the defense is pretty locked in. Seems like everybody's ready to go, and we just got to see how Stafford does, how healthy he remains throughout the season. Because we got to remember, I mean, this guy's the MVP. He's passing to basically the best receiver duo in the league in Devontae Adams and Puka. Got 1,500-yard rushing defense, capable of even more. And you've got the addition of two superstar corners that have just won two Super Bowls in the past 5 years. So it's pretty easy to say the Rams could have a phenomenal season, regardless of how hard their schedule is. But we'll see. It's going to be rough.
100%. All right. Any last things before I before we end this?
That should be it. Appreciate you, Ramley, for watching. Thanks
All
for
right.
tuning.
Marlins Instagram, Rams Talk, everything linked in the description. We'll see you guys next time, probably for the Rams season preview because we're not going to have anyone else besides him on it. We'll see you guys next time.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one.